Right, today I want to talk about what it takes, what it really takes to get very good at something to an elite level. And I'm going to speak from the only thing I have done so far to a very elite level, and that is playing video games. Now, I get it. It's not basketball, it's not football, it's not some long distance running. It's not a conventionally useful skill, but I think a lot of it will translate into all endeavors that you guys will pursue later on in life. Now, if you're a young dude that happens to be playing video games and that wants to make something out of video games, whether you want to go pro, whether you want to stream, whatever, this video pertains to you and you need to watch this whole thing. So, I come from a very strong video game background. I was an Onyx player in Halo Reach, played MLG in Halo. I was a challenger player in League of Legends. I was a grandmaster player in Overwatch before Champions, before Overwatch 2. I was consistently 5,000 glory in Destiny 2 throughout multiple seasons. So I've played multiple titles at some of the highest levels. And at first, when I was 17, when I was young, all I wanted to do was get good at video games because that's just how I had fun. I had fun by being good at the games. Losing and playing bad wasn't fun to me. Some people can play video games. I think most people can play video games and be bad at it, and it'll be funny, and they'll laugh at it, and they'll think it's fun. But for me, I don't think it's funny that I'm bad at it. I think I just get frustrated, and the only way to quell that frustration is to get better at the video game. I remember it all started in school. I was 17, and the subject was physics. And there was this practice exam question that no matter who I asked, no matter who I got to help me, no matter what online research I've done, I just could not understand it. And I happened to be playing League of Legends at the time. And one day I just got so frustrated. I was just like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with school. That's it. This is stupid. This is a dumb way for me to learn things. This is not how I learn things. This is ridiculous. I'm done. And overnight, I made the decision to completely cut out school and studying and to play League of Legends. And at first, I thought it was going to be great. I thought, oh, I'll just play League of Legends. I'll just work on getting better at the game. And as I get better, I'll have more fun with the game. And this one night, I was watching the Season 3 World Championships, and I saw the crowd, I saw the stage, I saw the production value, and that was the first time I knew that environment existed. And because playing video games was the only thing I was good at the time, to me, that was the only form of success that made sense to me. That was the only form of success that I was drawn to. So I played League of Legends with the focus to improve and to one day play professionally. Now, back then, at this time, I was just a gold, silver player. And for those that don't know, that's like middle of the bell curve, very average, very mediocre, nothing special. And I just focused on getting good at the game. I really didn't care about anything else. Now, before you guys accuse me of anything, I'm not recommending anybody to drop out of school and to give up school or to quit school and to just play League of Legends or a video game of your choice. That is not what I'm recommending. I was 17. I was naive. I didn't care about many things. And the decision was not a calculated risk decision. It was just anything a reckless 17-year-old young boy would do when he's frustrated and impatient. But for me, it worked out, and I'll tell you guys why, and why why it won't work out for most people. So I focused on getting good at League of Legends. And like I said, at first I thought it would be fun, but I quickly realized that it actually took work. It was full of effort. I thought it was just sitting down playing video games. But to actually sit down, play, and get better is an entirely different thing. Most people, when they come back and they play games, they come home from work, come home from school, whatever, they just turn the game on, they find a game online, or they start a new mission, whatever, and they just play. And they let the game stimulate them, and they react to what the game gives them or to what the other players are doing to them if it's a multiplayer game. But, I mean, that's fair, right? They've probably had a hard day at work or whatever. They just want to come home, turn their brain off. That's fair. But playing that way, you won't improve. And the way I improve, or the difference of playing to improve, is that you can't play like that. You have to play with intent. What do I mean by with intent? You have to play the game. When you start up the game, you have to have a specific goal in mind. Now, maybe in some single-player games, right, it could be goals within the game, like reaching a certain level, finishing a certain quest, obtaining a certain item, whatever. But in a more broader sense, it may be, for example, you need to practice on this skill. The next 2 games, I have to practice on this skill. The next 4 games, I have to practice this character. The next half an hour, I would jump into the practice tool and practice the matchup against this or whatever. Or the next half an hour, I'll just do nothing but boring drills. And that's not fun, as per se. Well, it's not fun in the sense that you have to engage a lot of your mental capability. You can't just turn your brain off and play the game like most people do. You actually have to engage your brain and still actively learn and use your brain as much, if not more, than you were at school or at work during the day. And to find the intent, I was studying. I wasn't just watching the game being wowed by all these plays. I was studying. Yeah, there were plays back then where I was like, wow, that was so unexpected. I don't know how he turned that around. But then, after that, I would just go to the next highlight clip. Before I watch anything else, I would rewind back to that highlight clip and I would try and break down as much as possible why that play happened and how he knew he could pull that play off. I'll go down to the details, as down to the pixel, like where he's positioned. Was he positioned at just out of max range of the opponent? Did he have a gold advantage? Did he have an item advantage? Did he level up a split second before the opponent and use that split second window? Did he use a unit block mechanic right before the minion died, or whatever? Down to the very specifics. I nailed every single point I could find and tried to conclude in my head why that play happened and how he knew that he can pull that off. And on the other side, why the other player thought they could win the exchange or whatever. So I went into a lot of detail, and I didn't just allow myself to just sit there and enjoy highlights, be wowed by plays, and watch highlight reel after highlight reel, montage after montage. I couldn't watch a single montage without pausing without pausing. I had to pause after every single clip. And if I wasn't playing the game, I was watching the game. I was writing down notes about the game. I was reading about the game. I was even listening to podcasts about the game as I turned off my screens. I was obsessed. And that's the truth. You have to be completely obsessed to be good at anything. You have to be obsessed with that endeavor you chose to pursue if you wanted to get good. So, what I did was I made sure that every time I was awake, I was thinking about the game. I lived and breathed the game. I didn't talk about anything apart from the game. In fact, when I was talking to other people, if they didn't play the game, or they didn't talk about the game, or they didn't even understood the game at a deep enough level that I understood the game, I literally just didn't talk to them. I just didn't care. I just didn't talk to them at all. And it got to the point where my parents think I'm playing way too much, so they started trying to limit my time on the computer and cutting internet off and giving me more house chores, etc., etc. My friends in school were laughing at me because I was a mediocre player. I was a gold, silver rank player, striving to be a diamond player. I was telling them, I'm going to be a diamond player one day. I want to get better at this game. And they all laughed at me. I was a silver gold player. I was the guy that last joined in on the hype train. And they all laughed at me. Nobody believed in me. And the teachers saw me losing focus. My grades were suffering. My outside life around the game was, I guess you can say, was suffering a bit. You know, they weren't as good. And obviously my relationship with my parents got worse because they're trying to stop me from playing the game. They didn't understand the fact that I was actually trying to get good and make something out of the game, because all they saw was just me playing the game just like anybody else would play the game. And it got to the point where I was basically kicked out of the house. Lived at an internet cafe for like a couple of weeks. Lived on 2-minute noodles. Luckily, I'm Chinese, and the reason why I say that is because every Chinese New Year, family members, especially your extended family, they give you these red envelopes full of cash. And when I was kicked out of the house, I didn't have a job. You know, I didn't have an income. So I basically lived off all the money I saved from the Chinese New Year money over my childhood. I was eating 2-minute noodles all the time, had microwave rice, Uncle Ben's, if you guys know it, microwave pies. I had, I could afford like one vegetarian fried rice every week or every few days. I couldn't buy any other fried rice because the vegetarian fried rice was the only $10 fried rice. Couldn't afford the $12 chicken fried rice. Could only afford the $10 vegetarian fried rice. Slept in the chair at the internet cafe, showered at the gym. That was like two blocks down. And yeah, that was it. That was my life at the internet cafe. And I did eventually, after the couple of weeks, did get scouted out by a team and started playing amateur at an amateur or semi-professional level. And yeah, back then it was rough because there was no money in esports. This was like 2014. I live in the country of New Zealand. No one cares here. I'm actually convinced that no one still cares here. Yeah, I think I pulled up like a funny statistic somewhere where the most amount of money that anyone made in New Zealand from esports that year in 2014 was like $25 or something stupid. So there was no results to show my parents either. But for me, it was a big deal because finally I was part of a team. Somebody noticed me. I was playing amateur. And yeah, from there I just kept playing, learned how to be in a team, and eventually that team disbanded. So I learned how to make a team myself. And in order to make a team myself, I had to learn all these other skills that had no relation to the game whatsoever. For example, I need to learn how to post Google forms, like recruit people. I needed how to I need to know how to recruit people properly and not waste time so you don't recruit the wrong people. I need to learn how to lead a team. I need to learn how to network with other team captains or organizers. I need to learn how to schedule practice sessions and manage the team in that way. There's a lot of real life skills that I had to learn at a very young age that I didn't sign up to learn as per se. But I knew that I had to learn them in order to play at that level that I wanted to play at. So I didn't care that these had nothing to do with the game because I had to get past them to get to where I wanted because I just wanted it that bad. It was that simple. I just wanted it that bad. So what's the lesson here? The lesson here is that you need to accept the fact that to get to a very elite level at where you are, you need to be completely obsessed. I got to that level and I didn't even get to like world class, world champion level, nowhere near. But to even get to that level, I had to be completely obsessed. I wasn't a natural. I didn't have any talent as per se. When I started playing, I was probably the single worst player amongst my friend group. So I'm not a natural. And it takes an unhealthy amount of obsession. The relationship with my parents suffered. Relationships with my friends suffered. My social skills suffered. My school grades suffered. You know, I wasn't working a part-time job like my friends were, so I guess financially I missed out too. I sacrificed a lot of things. And at that age, I wasn't aware that I was sacrificing these things because I didn't care. Because I was just that focused on wanting to be good at the game that I simply just ignored and were unaware and just didn't care about anything else. And those are sacrifices that you have to make if you were to become elite level at something. Anything. Musical instruments, some kind of sport. If you want to get rich, same thing, right? Making money is a game. If you're going to get rich, then you have to be elite level at the money game, which also requires sacrifice. You have to be obsessed about getting rich. If you want to play in the NBA, you have to be obsessed about learning basketball, doing all the boring drills, not just playing the game all the time, but doing the boring drills more than anyone else is willing to train. And the same thing, League of Legends, I was doing boring drills. I was loading into empty games, trying to last hit minions. Boring. But I didn't care it was boring because I knew it made me better. And that's what I ultimately wanted. You have to accept the fact that there will be huge amounts of sacrifices. And it's okay to think, okay, that's a lot to ask for. But when you do say it's a lot to ask for, when you do think it's too much, you also have to, at the same time, accept the fact that you are okay with not being at that level. I'll give an example. Losing weight and getting in shape. Right now, compared to the average person, I'm in a pretty good shape. But I'm not like bodybuilder, competition level, 5% body fat, absolute shredded. You know, I have a decent enough six pack, and I'm pretty happy when I look in the mirror. And to get to that shredded 5% bodybuilder level, I have to be more obsessed with weight loss. I have to start calculating calories. I have to start weighing my food. I have to start restricting my diet to certain meats and certain carbs, etc., etc. I don't think that's worth it to get all the way there, sacrificing, all the diet stuff and my lifestyle around it. I personally don't think it's worth it. I personally have accepted the fact that, okay, it's okay that I won't ever be at that bodybuilder level, but I'm very content with where I'm at. I'm pretty strong. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. I like my proportions. I like it when I look in the mirror. I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty content. And that's it. Because I know to get to that next level, I have to sacrifice more than I want to. And that's a decision I consciously make. But if you really do want to get good at something, you have to understand the sacrifices involved. I'm not telling you the sacrifices exactly will be your family, will be your money, etc., will be your school, etc., etc. I'm just saying that these are some examples of very big sacrifices that can come in your path, that will cross your path and that is a decision you may have to make. That's what I'm saying. It's a possibility that they will cross your path and you have to make the decision. Those are big sacrifices. And are you prepared to do whatever it costs to achieve it? In the case of esports and League of Legends, I was. So I made it into the scene. If you want to get rich, same thing. Are you prepared to make those sacrifices? To not travel, to give up your freedom, to maybe give up your standard of life, drive a poorer car, drive a beaten up car, don't go out, not going out with friends, sacrificing a bit of your social life. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to sacrifice not traveling in your younger years? Because for me, getting rich is so important and I want it so bad that I'm willing to sacrifice those, whatever it takes. I'm also working with people that I'm very close with. And I guess I'm just extremely obsessed, and I'm happy for them that they can do these things, right? My business partner, he likes hanging out with his family a lot. But I understand that I can't hang out with my family as much as he does because there's work to be done. And if I don't do it, then who's going to do it? I am willing to make that sacrifice to be rich because I want to be rich that bad. I'm not rich yet. So the decision is, whatever you pursue, you need to think, are you okay with the big sacrifices that will inevitably come your way? You don't know what the sacrifice will be, but some form of big sacrifice will inevitably come your way. Or are you okay with just not making those sacrifices and by extension, accepting the fact that you will never be at that elite level that you originally intended to be at? There's no joy without pain. You will not get there without a huge amount of sacrifice and dedication and absolutely ruthless discipline, because that's what it takes. So, yeah, I hope you guys take something away from this and don't let me discourage you from getting there, especially if you're a young boy getting into esports. I highly encourage you getting into esports, but you have to understand that, yeah, your parents may not understand you, but you also have to understand that it's not fun and games. It's just like anything else. It's just ruthless discipline and endless work. It's just like anything else. So make the decision. And by all means, walk the path and see what it's like. And when you do feel like it's too much, you need to be aware that you can quit, but understand the fact that you will never get there and accept it. Or you can make that sacrifice and continue down this ruthless path. It's not fun, but in the end, whether it's worth it or not, that's up to you to decide. And in the case for esports, it was worth it for me. So, yeah, think on that, guys. And I hope you took away something from this video. And for those of you that sat all the way through, thank you. And you guys will go a long way because most people will just click off. So you're doing better than most people already. You're going to get ahead. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.